Most people think that high-end stereo means imported products only, but that is a biggest myth. And to actually debunk that myth, we have got O&B with their team and their products at our experience center. And this is one such masterpiece that they have created, which makes sure that a made in India brand can equally be as established and as successful as a premium high-end stereo brand. And to talk more about their brand and the products, we have a face which is familiar to most of you guys, and that is Ardhendu Das. I'm going to start with the basics, okay, Ardhendu?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, tell me what exactly is a monoblock. Like, I want everybody to know what is a monoblock.
So basically a monoblock is a single channel amplifier. Yes, this is what we have presented here is a dual monoblock. That is, we have integrated two monoblocks inside one single chassis, and so that we can save the space everywhere in everybody's rack. The space is a big problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So most of the high-end stereos that we have always seen, you have one dedicated monoblock for a right channel speaker, one monoblock for a left channel speaker, and as you rightly said, it consumes too much of space. And today, when we are already limited by it, this dual monoblock architecture makes more sense to it. Now, compared to a dual monoblock, how is a stereo integrated amp or a two-channel power amp separate? Like,
so the basic thing that differentiates a dual monoblock versus a stereo integrated is, as you know, a power supply is the heart and soul of a power amplifier.
Very true.
Yes. So in a stereo amplifier, what happens is one single single PSU drives both the channels. Yes. But in this sort of a power amplifier, we have two individual toroids, two individual power supplies that supply each channel separately. So doesn't matter what is the load on one channel, it will not affect the other channel at all.
And how do you take care of the time alignment so that there is no...
So there is basically the signal path is very pure, right? There is nothing in between that will cause a time alignment difference. So if both the signals are the same on the input, the same will come out.
Okay, that's nice. And talking about the amplifications inside components, so what kind of wattage are we looking at in this particular series? What all other models do you have in this?
So basically in the DMB, we have around 4 amplifiers. So starting is with the DMB 2300, that is 300 watts at 4 ohms and 150 watts at 8 ohms.
Okay.
Then this is the DMB 2450, which is 500 watts at 4 ohms and 250 watts at 8. Then we also have a DMB 2600 and a DMB 2800. So those are much more higher power.
Size was also bulkier?
2600 is almost the same size. The depth is a little more and it weighs around 55 kgs or 50 kgs.
And this you mentioned earlier to me was 35 kgs.
Yeah, because you need that much heat sinks to dissipate the power.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of class of amplification are we looking in this?
This is AAB. The first couple of watts are in class A and then it switches over to class AB.
Okay. Is it a common symptom with most of the amplifiers which are class AB that they start with A and then transition to class AB?
Most of them are pure AB because the more bias you increase, the more time you want to spend in the A region, the bigger your heat sinks need to be. That is why it weighs so much. Okay. Because the power supply has to be very stiff and this heat sinks need to be big enough to dissipate that much amount of power. So another thing that happens with our amplifiers is that you see a doubling of power. At 8 ohms it's 250, at 4 ohms it's 500. 500, right. So it's a doubling of power. That means our power supply is very, very stiff and it can deal with any kind of load.
Interesting. And how about the other specs like the harmonic distortion or the signal to noise ratio?
Our power amplifiers, we rate it at full power. So like this is a DMB 2450. At full 500 plus 500 watts, the THD will remain below 0.05% THD. The SNR is close to 115, 116 dB.
That's very nice. So we played around few tracks on this amplifier with the focal arias and we were standing at what, 20 feet? I was barely up to a volume level of 20-25% and it was still giving me the sound that I need to enjoy the music. So what has been one of the best speakers that you have paired this amplifier with?
I have paired them with Focal Sopra M3s, then PMCs, Kef Blades, I think, if I remember correctly, and it has never disappointed me. Doesn't matter what speaker you throw at it.
So I've seen that most of the amplifiers get defined by the sound signature that they bring to the table. So, do you have certain speciality
No,
with this? Like,
no.
is it warm? Is it bright? Is it going to be
No, what
punchier?
we believe is that we design an amplifier that is a wire with a gain.
Okay.
Yes, so it is absolutely neutral. If you look at our specs, yes, it will be much more apparent from 20 hertz to 50 kilohertz. The frequency deviation is within plus minus 0.5 dB. That is the spec that we mentioned, but in actual test, it is even lower than that. It is within 0.1415 dB. The
Okay.
entire spectrum.
That's nice. And I see a very simple back panel design. So,
Yeah.
what has the theory been behind the entire back panel design?
So basically, we have Tiffany style RCA connectors and XLR connectors, and all the switches that are there is basically one switch is there to switch between the XLR, that is the balanced, versus to the unbalanced.
Yeah.
Then we have a gain selection on the RCA, because RCA, although the line level in most equipments they say it will provide 2 volts, but in our experience we have seen it can vary widely from 0.7 volts up to 1.5 volts. So we have taken a middle ground and we have given two options, where in high gain you can run it with a source that has a maximum output voltage of 0.7 volts, or a low gain where the device can put out 1 volts. Yes, and there is an HPF that generally takes care. It depends on user to user if you want to switch it on or just leave it like that. So with the HPF on, anything below 20 hertz gets subtracted, so that in ported speakers, uh, as you know, in ported speakers, if you play bass heavy tracks, at times it can sound muddy. Yes, at high volumes. So with this switch enabled, those things can be mitigated.
And this is a grounding port?
Yeah, this is basically a earthing lug that we
Okay.
give. So
Okay.
basically, if you are to connect it to a preamp that has only got phase and neutral and no earth, yes.
So then you can use this earthing.
Yeah, and we also have a 12-volt trigger and a ground ISO to mitigate if there is any ground loop humps.
Amazing, amazing. So, what all amplifiers, especially for high-end stereo listening, are we looking at apart from the dual monoblocks? Do you also have monoblocks? Do you have
Yes.
other regular stereo integrated
Yes,
amplifiers?
we have not done the integrated amps till now. It's only pure power,
Power
amps.
amps.
Yeah. So we have a HCA series, that is the beginning stereo amplifiers. Then we have the dual monoblocks. Then we have the monoblocks. We also have a balanced monoblock, which we have not unveiled, but we have designed for one of our clients.
Amazing. So, coming back to the main topic, that the Indian audience feels that any high-end stereo needs an imported brands. How are you trying to prove them wrong by showcasing your products? Like, how are you going around it?
So,
And what really, according to you, sorry to cut you off,
yeah.
what according to you really makes the product worthy of an high-end stereo, apart from the name or the country that they belong to?
So, I being an engineer at heart, yes, I truly believe that numbers do speak a lot. Yes, that's why we have invested in audio precision. Yes, we use the golden standard for measurement for all our amplifiers. So, our THD numbers, our SNR numbers, IMD, CCIF, and all of that, yes, crosstalk, everything, they can compare with best of the best brands out there. Yes, and another thing that is very important while designing an amplifier is how much current delivery you can give to a speaker.
Right.
Yes, we have measured around 64 amperes at 1 ohms 1 millisecond that these amplifiers can give out, which many amplifiers can't.
So, where do they stand according to you in that number?
Means
In the signal current, like what are their numbers at? 30 amperes, 20 amperes,
so
or
this
50
one
amperes?
this one does 64 amperes per channel.
But the other brands, if I have to.
Some are 28 amperes, some are 30 amperes, 40 amperes. I have seen up to 40 amperes. So we do. This is one of our, I'll say, one of the ranges that are in the middle segment, because DMB 2600 or DMB 2800, they are even more refined, even bigger specs. Like if I talk about DMB 2800, it has around 36 devices per channel.
Wow.
So 36 plus 36, 72 devices in total. It does around 800 watts at 4 ohms.
And you assemble, manufacture, do
Everything, the
in
design,
India.
manufacture, everything is done here.
So talking about good point you mentioned about design. So what is the theory of having the view meters in the front? Is it an inspiration from some brand
I
or is it?
like analog. Like
Okay.
last time I told you, right? I love the view meters. If you dim your lights down, you can see the needles dancing to your music. So I have always loved that.
Interesting. So I think I have totally enjoyed my session with this amplifier, and we would definitely
Yeah.
like to see more and more two-channel stereo setups that we do at TAP AV
Yeah, sure.
being done with ONB wherever and whenever possible. But to do that, we would also want everybody to know the price. So, do you want to share the prices of this particular model at least?
So this retails for around 2.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting for the specs and for the amount of wattage and power that it has to
Yeah.
deliver. I think you can definitely power some nice high-end
Yeah.
speakers with this amplifier and still enjoy
Anything that is very difficult to drive. Yes, if you have big speakers, difficult to drive, insensitive speakers, give us a call or give him a call. Yes, he will link you up.
Great. So thank you so much, Ardhendu. This, I'm sure, will help a lot of people understand the nitty-gritties of a two-channel stereo listening purposes, as well as give you an eye-opener about the architecture behind a dual monoblock system. So thank you once again, and I wish you all the best.
Same.
Thank you.